Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yawanathan.
It's brother Yakazak.
And first and foremost, we want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. So, I've been doing a little series. As you see, it says episode 2, attributes added unto the Lord's men. And today we're going to use the example of King David. Inspired this lesson, Elder Gabar talking about King Mashah today, and how King Mashah never boasted in the fact that he was King David. You know, he was humble. He never thought of himself more highly than he ought to think. And so we're gonna go into those examples. Anything you want to open up with or say, Elder?
At the end of the day, with all that getting, you need to understand. You have to understand that some things are going to be proven through faith.
That's right.
Just because you don't believe it don't mean that we don't believe it.
That's right.
We believe that when we never that these things are the truth. So if somebody doesn't believe, that's fine. You know what the Lord said. He that believeth on me, as the scripture says, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. You see? So at the end of the day, if you believe it, you believe. If you don't, you don't. You see? And at the end of the day, somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. But we choose to go into the scriptures. You got it.
That's right. So we're gonna go into 3 different examples of King David and attributes that he displayed. Same attributes that are going to be built up in us. Okay, so the first is when King David was chosen. So we're going to go to First Samuel, the 16th chapter, and let me get it on the screen here for you guys so you all can see. You brothers have an echo going on. Okay, Odom Natazakba said we have an echo going on. Let me see. What about now? Is it better now?
It might be coming from my end.
I turned the volume down on my computer to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I turned mine down, and I turned down the volume on the phone, but I can still hear it. I can still hear the echo too.
It's good. Okay, Adam Nazakba said maybe he said it might be your phone. The elder has an echo. Okay, they said it might be. You got
Okay, I turned off the screen wall that was on my phone and the YouTube. Still got
it. Okay. Can you hear me though? Can you still hear?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. I think it's fine. They'll let us know. All right. But let me get this up on the screen so you all can see. We're going to 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter. Okay, and I'm going to start at the top and I'll jump down as follows. All right. So we have it here. This is 1 Samuel 16 and 1. Okay. And if you want to stop and break certain things down, of course, go ahead. It says, and the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him?
I just throw my hand up so we ain't talking over each other.
Okay.
It says, and the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul?
I can hear the echo now. Actually, I can hear it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king amongst his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I come to sacrifice to the Lord. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will shew thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. So the Lord is getting ready to choose somebody to step into, kingship. And I say it all the time. We're auditioning for kingship. You see,
Yeah, and the thing is, the Lord's will is gonna be the Lord's will be fulfilled. You
Right.
see, He used the angels to wake up Samuel, and then He used Samuel to choose a king. He chose Saul. He chose David. The Lord gave Samuel the criteria that he wanted. Okay, he went to the royal line. He went to the sons of God to choose a king. Go ahead.
That's right. Verse 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming. And they trembled because, hey, man, the men of the Lord, they came bearing the news and judgment from them. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that spirit still lingers on. Like the scriptures say, they hated him that rebuketh in the gate. And said, comest thou peaceably? And he said, peaceably. I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice.
Jesse and his sons, I would say, because the Lord's got a plan. The Lord was looking at the sons of Jesse, and he was seeing which one he was going to choose. Of course, he already knew which one he was going to choose. But what he's doing is he's giving Samuel insight on his thought process.
Right. That's right.
You see?
And it's, yeah. And it's beautiful because, okay, go ahead. Yeah, it's beautiful because you'll see that reflection of how the Lord has chosen us. You know what I mean? And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him.
Now think about that. Look in the part. You know, been to the basketball court several times and you see that dude, he looked like he got it.
The eye test.
Until you pick it. Super sorry.
You like this big goofy nigga. This nigga goofy.
He got the dudes, he got everything that with the part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's another dude sitting over there on the side that got more game than your favorite player, whoever it might be.
Right.
But he don't look like him.
Right.
You remember White Man Can't Jump?
Right.
It looked like he would fire your ass up. But what did he do when he got out there? He was lighting it up.
Cooking.
That's what you look like. Got it.
Verse 7. It's the point I wanted here, but we'll read down a little more. But verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be carnal. Don't be carnal when you looking for the men of the Lord. You see? It's not about it's not about what you look like. It's about the spirit that's coming out of you. You know, you got it.
And this is in direct contrast with a statement somebody made a few weeks back saying that how you dress shows the God you represent, serve.
Oh man,
you see what I'm saying? There's a those are conflicting statements. You see what I'm saying? So even in this time, our people are drawn to that. If somebody looked the part, you know, somebody has so-called success in this world, they'll hearken unto that person. Like it says in Ecclesiastes, man, when the rich man speaketh, they extol it to the clouds.
Right.
You know? Verse 7 again from the top. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart.
He gave Samuel that insight. He said, look, you already picked Saul. That didn't go too well.
Yeah.
You see how carnal Saul was.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Samuel was the prophet that told Saul, obedience is better than sacrifice. Because that's what Saul was trying to do. You see, he was thinking that he was going to sacrifice and offer up more to force the Lord's hand.
Right.
And the Lord wasn't dealing with that. Therefore, you see what happened to Saul. So now the Lord is telling Samuel, look, don't look at how he look. Look at the spirit on him. The next king is going to be spiritual. Go ahead.
Oh, and the brother got a precept on the comment board. I figured I'd read it really quick. It's GMS Truth Be Told 144. He put up Ecclesiastes Sirach 11:5. It says, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath worn the crown.
You see that? Looking the part don't matter. You see? I want to say you see these other groups, and you see the studs, you see the wristbands, you see the militant persona. They don't know nothing about the scriptures.
That's right.
And the Lord come in the volume of the book. So what we gonna do with that? You got it?
All right, continuing on. We're back here in Yeah, we finished verse 7.
Con.
Right? So that was the point we wanted to get into. The Lord has chosen us, and we don't necessarily look the part. We got brothers from all different walks of life, different skill sets, different vernaculars, and then, you know, people will look at us and be like, these guys,
different skin tones,
right?
know?
These guys, you know, and that's the beauty, because my favorite chapter, one of my favorite chapters, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, says that they're going to be like, this was he whom we sometimes add in derision, man. Because for the most part, people look at us, they look at us as the bums. They look at us as, who are these guys? These guys are unlearned men. Is there a reoccurring theme here?
Man.
You know? All right, so now we're going to go to, you had the next one, right?
Yeah, you want
You had the first, I got it right here. This first Samuel, you wanted me to start at 25, correct?
Yeah, matter of fact, let's start at the top first. Yeah, let's start at the top.
At the very top.
And then we'll jump down. Yeah.
Con. Let me see if I can make this. Is it a way to make the text bigger so they can see it on the screen?
If you hit control, and roll the you got a roller on your mouse.
No, this is a laptop.
Okay, well in that case, you got the little slide deal, right? Move your mouse around.
Yeah.
Put both fingers in the center of it. Yeah, put both fingers in the center of it and then spread it out. The letters will get bigger.
All right, it's cutting off the. Okay. Dang. Well, that's cutting off the text. Then I'm just gonna.
You can go down. You can go down to 25 to make the point. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when you go into this chapter, it was going into David accepting the challenge to fight Goliath because everybody else was scared.
Okay.
You know? So when you start at the top of the chapter, that's where you see how everybody else was responding to Goliath and being afraid and all these, and then David comes up filled with the Spirit of the Lord, and he accepts the challenge to go ahead and fight the demon. You see, and the reason why we wanted to get this is because, just like the brother was going into, everybody else seems to be afraid of Esau. Everybody else seems to be afraid of Satan. Just like the Apostle Elder Gabor said the other day, the Lord didn't tell us to fear nobody but his Father. You see? So when you fear Yahweh, you fear Yahweh Shai by default. When you fear Yahweh Shai, you fear Yahweh by default. You see? He didn't never tell us to fear Satan.
That's right.
That's not what we was instructed to do. So if we're not gonna fear Satan, we damn sure ain't finna fear a human in flesh. It ain't got it.
Exactly.
You know? So you can jump to the point.
Okay, so this is 1 Samuel 17 and 25, all right? And it reads, and the men of Israel said, have you seen this man that has come up? Like, this nigga.
Go up.
Yeah.
Go to where David was like, look, the Spirit of the Lord was on me to kill a lion. The Spirit of the Lord was on me to kill a bear, because my job is to feed the flock. Y'all are the flock. And this nigga's the lion.
That's right. Let me see. That's in this chapter?
I believe so.
Let me see. No, that is that below? It's below 25, right?
David accepts the challenge. You might want to start right there.
All right, just 20.
Yeah.
Okay, let's 1 Samuel 17 and 20. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to fight and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army.
That's what I'm saying. So now, when you fast forward today, replace Philistines with Edomites.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. Shalom. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw him, fled from him, and were sore afraid.
That's what I'm saying. Look, when you get into today, fast forward to today, look at Esau's military might. Look at all the things that he can do. Look at his technology, right? All you got is a rusty 9 that you got from somebody else, probably.
That's right.
If you got that, so you're gonna need a higher power to deliver us from this situation. King David, he wasn't even King David at the time. He knew that. He knew that if he was gonna do anything, it was gonna be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah.
That's right, and that's why he had such confidence. He was like, and you'll see he's even going to say it in verse 26. And the men of it's verse 25 though. And the men of Israel said, "Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel."
Yes, he was gonna make it worth your while. You see, because that's what everybody else was shook.
Right.
Everybody else was shook. You know what I'm saying? But they served the same power David did, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You got all these dudes hollering Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They ain't about that though.
Yeah.
And like I say all the time, we hope and we pray that the zeal that we show on camera on these videos is increased 100-fold when our head is under the guillotine, or we on a fucking shooting range or firing squad in front of the firing. You got it.
Yeah, and to capitalize off the point when you said he's gonna make it, the king was gonna make it worth his while. Hey, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is gonna make it worth our while. See, you should sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. We're talking about kingship, rulership, godhood, lowercase g. You understand? So this is like a correlation with our story in a sense.
That's right.
You know? All right, so verse 26.
The Lord says, who will rise up for me in those days?
Who will stand for me against the evildoers?
That's what I'm saying. And our King David, he was about that.
Right.
He wasn't even the king yet. He was still a stripper. A young man.
Right.
You got it.
Verse 26, and it's going to show you that was David's mentality here. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, "What shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?"
That's what I'm saying. That's how we are. That's how we are. We're not worried about what can come and what can harm us and all that.
That's right.
Because we believe that the Lord is going to deliver us from that. Period, point blank. And even if we don't, make it in this body, we're gonna be raised up first because we died in the truth. You got it.
That's right, man. Verse 27, it says, "And the people him saying, after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab, his eldest brother," and remember, this is the one that Samuel thought was going to be chosen, if I'm not mistaken. We read it earlier. "And Eliab, the eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the man. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou down hither? Why are you over here anyway? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and naughtiness of thine heart. Thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle." David ain't come to see. He came to get busy. He ain't come to
David could have easily told his brother, "No, you came to see the battle.
You came to see. I came to get to it. I don't know what you talking about."
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Spirit of the Lord is on me because y'all scared.
Right.
See, you can be mad at me all you want, but that's what I'm saying. I believe that the Lord has put the Spirit on me to come down here and fight the battle that you want.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Same thing with these other groups. Yeah, we brothers, but we ain't brothers.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
The Lord has put a distinction in between those who gonna have the Spirit on and those who not. And no matter what you look like.
Right. Verse 28. Dang, that's fire. "And Eliab, his elder brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle," which was not the case. Verse 29, "And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner."
That's what I'm saying. Everybody was scared except David.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 31, And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul. And he sent for him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about everything that everybody else worried about. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai got me. He showed me time and time again. I don't know what the fuck y'all scared of.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 33. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him. Look at this man. What you talking about, David? You know what I mean? But he was seeing his carnal eyes as well. Salakia. King Saul was seeing with his carnal eyes as well. Right? Yeah. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth.
That's what I'm saying. David had the faith necessary to pull this off. David wasn't worried about nothing but the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Everybody else was tripping.
Right.
Including the king. Here it is, the Lord chose Saul first.
Right.
But he ain't got no faith. And he dropped the ball several times when it came to faith. That's why the house of Saul looking crazy as hell now. So Saul was the ones that was scared.
They looking real crazy.
And while the house of David was being built up, it started when David was chosen.
Yeah.
You got it.
When you have faith, you're also going to display what? Courage. And David displayed that at a very, very high level, an elite level.
Yep. To the point where they thought he was being foolish.
Right.
What they thought was foolish was him showing faith.
They thought he was being arrogant, but arrogance, he wasn't being arrogant in himself. He was being confident in the Lord.
He never told you what he was going to do. He kept telling you what the Lord was going to do.
That's right.
That's where we get that persona from. We're not going to do nothing until the Lord put the spirit on us too. If we those men. See? That's just like how I say, look, don't tell Esau what you going to do to him, how you going to beat him up and do all that. Read Ezekiel 25 on the bitch ass. He can't do nothing.
Do just that, yeah. All right. So, verse 34, it says, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
That's what I'm saying. Thy servant. He was saying what he was able to do because of the Lord. David know he didn't kill that bear by himself. He know he didn't kill that lion by himself.
That's right.
Whose servant is he? He's the Lord's servant. And that's what he said. He's like, look, if the Lord is on me, I can't lose.
Yeah.
And all y'all scared, and we supposed to serve the same power.
This nigga scared.
Right. He had every right to be shot.
Right.
Hell, Samuel even went through. He went from the biggest to the smallest before he got it right.
Right.
Every last one of knees shaking, teeth chattering.
Right.
King David is filled with the Spirit of the Lord, so he had no fear. You got it.
And also in verse 36, I'm just going to read it through and I'll make the point. It says, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
Come on.
Seeing he hath defiled the armies of the living God. So another thing is David, he was offended at the fact this man was coming up against, the Lord, the congregation of the Lord. And we get offended on the Lord's behalf the same way David did. Right. This is showing that that David's heart was after the Lord, man.
Because I got something for you.
Okay.
Pull that Jeremiah 3 real quick.
Go ahead. This was showing that David's heart was after the Lord. Because when people start talking about wickedness and things that are offensive to the Lord, we get offended on the Lord's behalf.
God.
We feel like somebody talking about our mama. You know how Jake in the world, they be like, somebody talking. We feel that way when people.
Not my pastor. Yeah, that's not my pastor's spirit.
Right. We feel that way for the Ancient of Days, man.
That's right.
And for his son. So this is, these characteristics as we're reading through them and we're catching little glimpses of it. These are things that you should be exemplifying as well as you get deeper and deeper into this walk.
That's right. This is Jeremiah 3:14. It says, "Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you. I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." You see? And just like David's brother. Didn't you lead the sheep, nigga? What the hell you doing here? Right? Ain't the sheep being unattended?
Right.
David knew through the Spirit that his brother was the sheep. The Israelites were the sheep, and he was the shepherd. And how he proved it physically and through the Spirit. You see, he just told you about how the Lord put the Spirit on him to protect the flock by killing lions and bears. And this uncircumcised Philistine ain't no different.
Right.
You got it.
Continuing on, all right. Verse 37. It says what? David said, "Moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw," and again, look who he's giving the credit to. Look who he knows he's not doing it of his own strength, of his own accord. It's by. Right?
That's it.
David said, "Moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion."
He
and
said,
out of
"The
the
Lord delivered me out of the paw of the lion. The Lord delivered me from that bear. The Lord wanted those sheep to be protected." Okay? You
That's
got
right. It's symbolic. Everything was spiritual, even by David's beginnings and everything. The whole way through, everything was spiritual about it. "The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver." That's confidence. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine.
That's what I'm saying, man. And that's the point. That's what I'm saying. The Lord delivered us from the Babylonian captivity. He delivered us from the Persians and the Medes. He delivered us from the Greco-Romans. But he ain't gonna deliver us from the second half of the Roman Empire.
You gotta believe it.
What was it? What? Throughout those kingdoms, you got lions, bears.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. You got it.
You got it. Elder Yashawamba says this all the time, man. You got to believe these things. We talk about it. We're studying, we're building ourselves up in the Spirit, but you truly got to believe, man, because that's how we're gonna overcome, by that faith, by that confidence that David had.
That's right. You gotta have. I would say you gotta have the confidence. You gotta have the confidence to call on the name of the Lord. Right.
Right.
Look at Abraham. Abraham and Lot. They didn't know where they was gonna go. He said, "Look, Lot, if you go this way, I'm gonna go this way. We're gonna be good though." That's what happened.
Right.
So when you what's that? Romans 15:4. These things were written aforetime for our learning.
I get it.
You see?
Roman.
And when you go back into these accounts and you see the belief and you see the faith, and then you see what that belief and that faith is up against, and you see how whatever it's up against gets his ass whooped every time. That's why I say you can't beat faith with carnality and bullets and bullshit. Go ahead.
It just made me feel dirty when you said it. it just felt dirty. Like, nigga, that don't make no sense. Anyway, verse 15 is Romans 15:4. All right. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope."
That's what I'm saying. That's why we able to hold fast that which is good. That's why we able to get, you know what? When the shit hit the fan, we got a lesson to put out. And we're going to have to do that until it gets worse and worse and worse. We get that. You see, we know that our forefathers had to wait. And we know that they waited.
That's right.
And we know they're going to be rewarded.
Yeah.
It's just that simple with us. You see?
Yeah.
But you got people that don't believe, that want you to make them believe. And it's just not going to happen. That's not how it works. So if you think it's up to us, me and you one, to convince you that the Lord is real,
you tripping.
we tried our best. And if you don't get it, that's what I'm saying. We don't care if you don't believe it. We do. When we heard this word, it was mixed with faith. Our wardrobes changed, our minds changed, everything.
Right.
You got it.
As a precept, I want to back up just going into the confidence that we are supposed to exhibit And because you brought out the Romans, right? The things written aforetime for our learning, and it's constantly stated to us throughout the volume of the book. This is First Maccabees 2, and I'll start at 50. It says, "What? Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time." Right? That things are written aforetime. "So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name." And then it gives all the accounts of the different men who displayed that confidence in the Lord. The Lord would be there and have their back in times of trouble. All right, verse 52, it says, "Was not Abraham found," you mentioned Abraham, "was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph in the time of distress kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt." And it just goes on like that. So again, when you blessed is he that readeth. This is how you build up that confidence, because you're seeing that the Lord did it time and time and time again. See,
with different men in different generations.
That's right.
You know, that's what, bro. You can mess around and be one of those prophets coming back.
Right.
You know, whether we are or not, we don't know. But the important thing is to have that mentality.
Yeah.
Every prophet that we read about, of course they died.
Right.
But that don't make the Lord a liar. That just means his plan is bigger than what you're thinking about.
Yeah. Hey, my thoughts are not your thoughts.
Yeah. Your mind is small.
Yeah.
So if you can't see that the Lord is in full control, then that ain't up to us. But that's what I'm saying. David saw that the Lord was in full control, and his brothers that were in the army didn't see it. You got it?
All right, so now we're back to 1 Samuel 17th chapter and 37. All right, it says, "David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord be with thee." And the Lord was. "And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with the coat of mail." Now, David didn't need that armor. He wasn't trusting in that. Just like we're not trusting in a gun. We're not trusting in, if you stocking up stuff, that it's on you, but you're not putting your faith in it.
Saul was so shook, he gave David his armor.
The king.
If you gonna give him your armor, you might as well give him your kingdom. Because that's exactly what happened with your scary ass. I was scared as hell. You see?
Oh man.
Let that shit get. He was so shook. He gave David his armor. When it was well known that Saul would get out there and fight. He gave his armor up, and David was like, "What I'm gonna do with this shit? You gonna get me killed, man." Go ahead.
Because you really, Lord, give you the eye staff, He give you the spirit to really see it. Picture a big old Benjamite, you know what I mean? Giving this young boy his armor. All right, David, you go do it. The Lord be with you. You'll be like, nigga, what? This your king? You know the little meme they got? Is this your king? Right, man. That man was unequipped for that seat.
Right.
All right, continuing on. It's crazy. Verse 38, "And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with the coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor. And he essayed to go," I hope I'm saying that right, "for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took his..." Yep.
He put off that weak nature.
That weak nature.
You see that? Y'all gonna stop acting like we ain't reading this Bible, man.
That's right.
This book is alive, man. This is a live document. And it ain't our fault that you don't believe it. Go ahead.
Verse 39, "And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand, and he chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine."
That's what I'm saying. He took off that. He put off that weak nation. He grabbed them 5 stones, and it only took one. I wonder who that stone could have been. The cornerstone. How about that cornerstone?
Yeah, that chief cornerstone.
He only needed one. He only needed one rock.
That's right.
We only need one rock.
That's right.
Let's go.
31. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of fair countenance.
That's what I'm saying. King David didn't look like he was gonna take Goliath out.
Right.
And Goliath fell guilty of the same thing that Saul did. It was about the way he looked.
Carnal.
It was about the way he looked, because he was looking at all the bigger soldiers, and he wanted to smoke with them.
Yeah.
He wasn't moved by none of that. So when he saw David, who's even smaller than these big ass dudes who scared as hell, he full of himself at this point. Just like Esau. Esau think he got it.
He think he, oh my goodness.
Running his mouth.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
I'm telling you, man. You got it.
Verse 43. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods, by Dagon and all them gods that are no gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. Get this. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts.
That's what I'm saying. You one soldier. I'm coming for the Lord of armies.
Yeah.
The Lord of armies got my back, so you ain't that big to me.
You finished, bro. Like you not. It's not what you think. It's not gonna go how you think.
He wasn't moved at all. Go ahead.
All right. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defiled. Hey,
he said whom thou hast defied.
Defy, Salakia.
You defied my Lord in front of my people, and you think you gonna walk away? You think you really think you gonna walk? Nigga, I'm gonna cut your head off with your own soap, and this is what I'm gonna do in the spirit of power. I'm gonna change your whole damn plan.
That's right. And that's why we get offended the same way when we see this devil come up against the Lord. And what the Lord has set in place, it sets us on. We're vexed from day to day with the filthy conversation of the wicked. The whole mindset of the people. It's like, bro, are you serious? You know what I mean? We feel that same way that David felt.
Right.
All right, let me read that again because I messed up that word at the end. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied.
That's what I'm saying. You're not finna defy my God right in front of me. That's what I'm saying. In front of the king?
That's right.
And the army? Are you for real? Let's go then. Let's rock.
46. This day. Yeah. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand. The Lord will deliver thee into mine hand.
That's right.
And I will smite thee and take thine head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air.
Bro, that's like telling your defender, I'm going right. It don't matter what you do, I'm going right.
I'm going right. And you can't, and you ain't gonna be able to stop it. Hey, you got to talk about Jordan and Kobe. You knew that fadeaway was coming.
I'm telling you.
But damn if you was gonna stop it. You know the fadeaway. You know the turner. You know he going over the left shoulder, and he fading. It's going in. And to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel.
That's what I'm saying. They gonna know. It ain't gonna be no mistake about the power that created all this ass. Go ahead.
And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass.
You can't do nothing about that. I would say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, no matter what point in time in history you talking about.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
Verse 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone, we know who that stone is, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth.
Bro, that was like King David pulled out a pistol and shot that nigga in his damn head.
Yeah,
Throwing a rock.
right.
Think about that. He threw a rock and it was equal to pulling out a pistol
Right.
and blowing the nigga head off.
And the precision he had to have. I seen people throw the slingshots. You could throw it hard enough to kill a man, but the precision, you on the run. The Lord had to be with you. That was the first shot.
I'm telling you.
That shot was 1 in a million. The Lord was with him.
Yeah, and Goliath. Dead wrong. And dead.
All right, verse 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, cut his head off with his own sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled.
That's what I'm saying. Think about all those nations. Think about all those nations that teamed up with Esau in Psalms 83.
That's their champion. Esau's their champion.
That's their champion. And he want to smoke. He want to smoke with Israel.
Right.
And Israel scared. But the house of David, though, hey, either you believe it or you don't, bro.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, so you want me to keep going, or you want to end off on that? That's the point.
Yeah, we can go to the
First Chronicles.
Yep.
So, but let's rehash really quick. So the first characteristic we went over, what was? It's not about appearance. The Lord has not chosen His men by appearance. So, despite what you may hear about, how you dress is compliant with what God you serve, that's not equivalent. That's a contrary statement. It's not about the appearance. The second, obviously, is the confidence. All right, the faith and the confidence you have in the Lord, man. He's gonna fight these battles for us. You gotta have that confidence in Him. Okay. And so now we're going to go over to the third characteristic we're going to talk about today in First Chronicles 21 and 10. You want me to start at 10?
Start at the top and then we'll jump around.
Okay. It's First Chronicles 21 and 1. It says, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel.
Now keep in mind, there's another account in Kings that match up with this one. And it's going into how the Lord was mad at Israel, and He was ready to get it. He was ready to get after him. You see. Now, fast forward to in book of I think it's in Kings 2, where it's talking about Micah, right? And the angels getting together to figure out how they're gonna fulfill the will of the Heavenly Father, right? So the Heavenly Father was his. I'm gonna find it, man. I gotta find it.
Okay.
Type it up. Let me see. Kindle. What word Kindle is going to get now? Kindle Israel.
See what they got on the comment board while you looking. Shalom and everybody on the comment board. One of the brothers said, David said, "Nigga, you bringing a knife to a rock fight."
That's a good one.
That's really funny. Oh, we missed this one. GMS Truth Be Told 144, because we was talking about that stone. He put up Daniel 2 and 34. It says, "Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces." Because you mentioned earlier that Yahweh Shah was that stone that David threw, and then him being that stone, that shattered the feet of the kingdoms.
That's right.
That's beautiful too.
I found it.
Okay. What is it? So I can put it up
It's
on the.
it's 2 Samuel 24, and we can start at the top. So we can go
Okay.
back and forth between these this same chapter. We're talking about the same thing.
2 Samuel 24.
Yes, and we can start at. I read 2 Samuel, and then you can read the Chronicles.
24. All right, I'll have it up so they can see both. Okay, so you want me to read Chronicles right now?
I'm gonna read Samuel first.
Okay. Samuel, where is it?
2 Samuel 24 and 1.
Okay, cool.
Right? It says, and again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when David did that, it's gonna set forth a series of events that the Lord wanted to happen in the first place. Okay? The Lord was mad at Israel, so he got on Satan. Satan took the task to jump on David to number Israel so the Lord could judge the nation. Okay? Now, all right, it says, for the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people. And numbering Israel is you're going off, right? It says, and Joab said unto the king, now the Lord thy God add unto the people, right, how many soever they be, and hundredfold, and that the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why doth my lord the king delight in this thing? Right? So Joab knows that numbering Israel is going off. So he's asking, what you need this for?
Yeah.
You back? Okay, come. All right. It says, and they passed over the Jordan River. All right, I'm gonna jump down to where he gave David the number. Right. Verse 9. It says, and Joab gave up the sum of the number of the people unto the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword, and men of Judah were 500,000 men. Right now, as soon as he got that number, right? It says, and David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Lord, I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done foolishly. So as soon as Satan jumped off of him, he knew immediately what he had done. Right? Now you can go to your version in Chronicles.
All right. First Chronicles 21 and 1. All right. It reads, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And David said, yep.
See that? The Lord wanted that to happen, and it did. So if the Lord wants Esau to go down, he's going the fuck down.
He's the director of the movie.
Goodness gracious. Go on. You got it.
Verse 2. And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, go and number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it. And Joab answered, the Lord maketh his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are they not all my lord's servants? Why then doth my lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel? Nevertheless, the king's words prevailed against Joab. Wherefore Joab departed and went throughout all Israel and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people unto David, and all they of Israel were 1,000,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. And Judah was 410,000 men that drew sword. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab.
See, now when you jump down to when David was being judged for that, you see, you're gonna see how he handled it. The Lord gave him 3 options. I'm gonna do this, or this. You're gonna have to choose, right? And what David ended up doing was choosing what the Lord wanted in the first place, right? So he used David to fulfill his will, but he wasn't worried about how David felt about it. This is what the Lord is going to do. It's going to be done. And that's included with us. So the decisions that we make when it comes to guarding the flock and all these different things, it's gonna happen according to the way the Lord got it set up. We just gotta live it out. You got it?
You want me to start at 18 or start down?
Yeah, we can start at 18.
All right, 1 Chronicles 21 and 18, it reads, Then the angel of the Lord commanded Gad to say to David that David should go up and set up an altar.
You see how it's the Lord, then it's the angels, then it's man?
Right?
Okay, let's go.
And set up an altar unto the Lord in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David went up at the saying of Gad, which he spake in the name of the Lord. And Oman turned back and saw the angel, and his 4 sons with him hid themselves. Now Ornan was a threshing wheat. And as David came to Ornan, Ornan looked and saw David, and went out on the threshing floor, and bowed himself to David with his face to the ground. Then David said to Ornan, Grant me the place of this threshing floor, that I may build an altar therein unto the Lord. Thou shalt grant it me for the full price, that the plague may be stayed from the people.
There you go. So you got these options for that sin that you committed. You see? And David didn't buck up. That's what I'm saying. He realized his fault, and he was immediate. Bro, as soon as Satan got off David, he knew he was out of pocket.
He took accountability.
And he went right into repentance mode. He was like, oh man. You see? And when he was given those 3 options, he judged it the best way he could in the flesh. He was in the flesh.
Yeah.
You see?
He tried to pick the option that would be the least amount of casualties. Now, obviously, the Lord had him in a trick bag, because, but he tried. You could see that David wasn't about himself. Right. He was about the Lord and judging righteous judgment, the same way we ought to be.
Because the Lord tells you that he's going to give you pastors after his own heart. And the Lord is perfect. But the thing is, man is not. So when you see a man's flaws, and you fall under the truth because of his flaws, you's a bitch.
You's a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
The bitch.
And you see,
if that's what I'm saying. If your salvation is based on another man and what he do, you's a bitch.
Yeah, that's come on. Like what are we doing? That's not being a man. This truth makes you a man. And becoming disenchanted because somebody you learned from went off. That's weak. That's not being a man, especially not a man of the Lord.
Just like you said, the characteristics of a man of the Lord. The Lord ain't looking for no busters. The Lord ain't saving no suckers.
That's right.
No jive time turkeys, none of that shit.
None of that.
You got it.
All right, where was I? Verse 23. It says, And Ornan said unto David, Take it to thee, and let my lord the king do that which is good in his eyes. Lo, I give thee the oxen also for burnt offerings, and the threshing instruments for wood, and the wheat for the meat offering. I give it all.
That's what I'm saying. So now he's in full repentance mode. He done built the altar, trying to make it right. You see, but the Lord already knew what David was going to do. You see? And that was pleasing in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. When we fall and we get back up, you see what's that? It's either Daniel 9 or Daniel 4. I always get them mixed up. But it's going into how Daniel was repenting for the nation because we all went off. You see? Acknowledging our offense and trying to make it right. Psalms 51. That's a go-to prayer. That was King David after he committed adultery and murder. Realized he was out of pocket. You see? And he begged the Heavenly Father to forgive him. So that's what I'm saying. We sin, we go off, we repent, and as long as you in this flesh, it's gonna be like that.
That's right.
You got it.
You want me to keep going, or is the point made in that?
I think the point was made.
The point is made in that. So yeah, we went over 3 characteristics. Just to rehash it again, because repetition is the father of skill. Right. The appearance. The Lord is not picking or choosing by appearance. You weren't chosen for your appearance. 2, we went into the fact that you got to have that confidence in the Lord, man, that mighty confidence, not arrogance within yourself, but confidence in the Lord. And this point was David took accountability. He understood when he made that mistake, and what was his solution? To turn back, to repent to the Lord, man, to be in that broken and contrite spirit. Okay, so those are those 3 characteristics in today's lesson that should be added unto you.
And you can pray for those characteristics too, man.
Yeah.
You see? And the Lord said there ain't nothing that you can pray for in his name that the Father won't give you. So either you believe it or you don't.
That's right.
And it ain't nobody else's fault if you don't believe. Fuck off with that weak ass shit. Yeah, I said it. But keep on saying it. You keep on displaying weak ass behavior, it's gonna be called out. That's flood behavior.
Flood behavior.
I would say why the elect gotta repent but nobody else do.
Right.
Hey.
Eldam Natazakba, he made a statement maybe like 2 years ago while we was at camp. He said, I don't know what's wrong with Jake. You think we had to let go all our bad habits, but you get to come in the truth and keep yours?
Absolutely not.
That's not how it works.
Not how it works. If you don't have nothing else, you can go ahead and close us out. I ain't got nothing else.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I was gonna go into Luke the 8th chapter and show, like, because we did kind of go into a little bit. Hey man, your walk shouldn't depend on another man's. If he make a mistake, now you become disenchanted. I think I'm gonna do that in episode 3.
Okay.
And
I'm down the road with you.
We do episode 3 together. We can go into Luke the 8th chapter because it kind of goes into the different types of people that come into this truth, and you got to be weighing yourself. Which person am I in this scenario? You know. So I think that'll be episode 3.
Yeah, Lord willing, I'm down.
All right. So, with that being said, man, once again, we want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right. Blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.